before the Monroe House was built, a cabin and barn were in its place. Whatever the structure was, it caught on fire, burning down not only the structure, also burning down homes around it. Around the very late 1800s, a Victorian house, known now as the mysterious Monroe House, was built. Around the 1900s, the Burgers were the first known family who lived in the house. The Burgers were Belgian immigrants who began their lives in Indiana by working in the Hartford City Glass Company, as glass workers. John B. and Mary Burger had 5 children together, who all worked in the glass company from childhood on. John became an agent for Indianapolis Brewing and a major steamship line. He bought a tavern, invested his money in real estate, joined organizations like the Elks, the Rotary, and the Oddfellows, and became a leading citizen of the town. Mary Emma Hall's life story. When Mary Emma Hall was born on November 5, 1860, in Pennsylvania, her father, Joseph, was 30, and her mother, Sarah, was 28. She married John B. Burger in 1876. They had 1 child during their marriage. She died on March 24, 1932, in Hartford City, Indiana, at the age of 71. Mary Emma Hall was born on November 5, 1860, in Pennsylvania to Sarah Elizabeth Clark, age 28, and Joseph Henchman Ryder Hall, age 30. Mary Emma Hall lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, in 1870. 1876. Age 16. Mary Emma Hall married John B. Burger in 1876 when she was 16 years old. 1887. Age 26. Her daughter Lillian May was born on June 20, 1887, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 1900. Age 40. Mary Emma Hall lived in Licking, Indiana, in 1900. 1905. Age 44. Her husband John B. passed away on September 15, 1905, in New Jersey at the age of 50. They have been married for 29 years. 1907. Age 46. Her mother Sarah Elizabeth passed away on January 2, 1907, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at the age of 74. 1910. Age 50. Mary Emma Hall lived in Hartford City, Indiana, in 1910. 1920. Age 60. Mary Emma Hall lived in Hartford City, Indiana, in 1920. 1930. Age 70. Mary Emma Hall lived in Hartford City, Indiana, in 1930. 1932. Age 71. Mary Emma Hall died on March 24, 1932, in Hartford City, Indiana, when she was 71 years old. In the late 1900s, 2 families lived in the Monroe Street house. The Burgers occupied the downstairs, but after the death of John in 1905, Mary rented out the upstairs to Ulysses and Mary Myers. When Ulysses Grant Myers was born on December 24, 1869, in Warren, Indiana, his father, George, was 29 and his mother, Sarah, was 28. He married Mary R. Harrell in 1886. They had 1 child during their marriage. He died on April 26, 1944, in Toledo, Ohio, at the age of 74, and was buried in Oregon, Ohio. Ulysses Grant Myers was born on December 24, 1869, in Warren, Indiana, to Sarah Sally Trout, age 28, and George L. Mayers, age 29. 1880. Age 11. Ulysses Grant Myers lived in Jefferson, Indiana, in 1880. 1886. Age 17. Ulysses Grant Myers married Mary R. Harrell in 1886 when he was 17 years old. Mary R. Harrell. 1865 to 1934. 1887. Age 17. Birth of son. His son Earl was born on August 29, 1887, in Huntington, Indiana. Earl Myers. 1887 to 1960. 1893. Age 23. Death of father. His father George L. passed away on December 8, 1893, in Huntington, Indiana, at the age of 52. 1893. Age 24. Ulysses Grant Myers was married in 1893 when he was 24 years old. 1900. Age 31. Ulysses Grant Myers lived in Toledo, Ohio, in 1900. 1908. Age 38. Ulysses Grant Myers was married in Kalamazoo, Michigan, on March 9, 1908, when he was 38 years old. 1910. Age 41. Ulysses Grant Myers lived in Salamone, Indiana, in 1910. 1920. Age 51. Residence. Ulysses Grant Myers lived in Toledo, Ohio, in 1920. 1929. Age 59. His mother Sarah Sally passed away on June 10, 1929, in Toledo, Ohio, at the age of 88. June 10, 1929, Toledo, Lucas, Ohio, USA. 24th of August, 1930. Age 60. Death of wife. His wife Betty Ann passed away on August 24, 1930, in Toledo, Ohio, at the age of 54. Benny M. Myers. 1876 to 1930. August 24, 1930, Toledo, Lucas County, Ohio, United States of America. 1930. Age 61. Ulysses Grant Myers lived in Toledo, Ohio, in 1930. 1934. Age 64. His wife Mary R. passed away on November 8, 1934, in Fort Wayne, Indiana, at the age of 69. They have been married 48 years. 1944. Age 74. Ulysses Grant Myers died on April 26, 1944, in Toledo, Ohio, when he was 74 years old. When Mary R. Harrell was born on April 21, 1865, in North Carolina, her father, William, was 19, and her mother, Caroline, was 22. She married Ulysses Grant Myers and they had one son together. She also had one son and one daughter from another relationship. She died on November 8, 1934, in Fort Wayne, Indiana, at the age of 69, and was buried in Warren, Indiana. 1886. Age 21. Mary R. Harrell married Ulysses Grant Myers in 1886 when she was 21 years old. 1916. Age 51. Her father William H. passed away on July 21, 1916, in Canada, North Carolina, at the age of 70. Benny M. Myers was born in 1876 in Indiana. She lived in Salamone, Indiana, in 1910 and moved to Toledo, Ohio, sometime between 1910 and 1920. She died on August 24, 1930, in Toledo, Ohio, at the age of 54, and was buried there. 1910. Age 34. Benny M. Myers lived in Salamone, Indiana, in 1910. 1920. Age 44. Benny M. Myers lived in Toledo, Ohio, in 1920. 24th of August. 1930. Age 54. Benny M. Myers died on August 24, 1930, in Toledo, Ohio, when she was 54 years old. The story of the Myers family. On March 20, 1907, the Hartford City Telegram reported the following. Ulysses G. Myers, the well-known bookkeeper and former paymaster at the Johnston factory, was Friday made the defendant in a divorce suit filed in the circuit court by Mary Myers, who besides the divorce asks the custody of their 3 children, $500 alimony, and $25 monthly for the support of the children. Mr. and Mrs. Myers were married in September 1886 and lived together until March 1, 1907, when the plaintiff averts that she was cast upon the street to depend on the charity of strangers. Her allegations in part are that the defendant has been guilty of cruel and inhuman treatment, that he possesses a violent and uncontrollable temper and at various times became enraged without cause, and on March 11 drove her from their home, giving her no clothing other than that she was wearing, that she was obliged to seek shelter at the home of a neighbor as it was late in the evening and she had no relatives that she could call upon for assistance. The plaintiff is weak, frail and in poor health and unable to perform hard labor, although she was compelled to do so, and then was not provided with suitable clothing. The family is comprised of 3 children, Earl, age 20, Edna, age 8, and Ernest, age 4. It is further alleged that the defendant is capable of earning $125 monthly and fully able to maintain the children by paying $25 monthly for their support. The parties named in the complaint have resided on North Monroe Street, and their troubles of the present week have afforded a great opportunity for the town gossips. Ulysses Myers has filed a suit for divorce from his wife, Mrs. Mary Myers, alleging that she had a cruel disposition and frequently chastised their children with a buggy whip. By June of 1908, Ulysses Myers wasn't paying support for his wife and children. He was newly married, already, to a woman who got a divorce at about the same time from her husband. The only reason he was able to pay the settlement of the divorce was because his mother sold her farm. But after that, he didn't pay his former family a dime. Ulysses Myers and his new wife, they actually married illegally, as in her divorce she was forbidden from marrying for 2 years, ended up moving to Ohio, where in 1949, he died, in Toledo. The only child listed as a survivor from his first marriage was Edgar, the eldest son. When Harry Bernard Myers was born on March 11, 1869, in Roanoke, Indiana, his father, Isaac, was 33 and his mother, Frances, was 22. He married Estella Vanderveer and they had one daughter together. He then married Emma C. Jones and they had 2 children together. He died on August 6, 1951, in Hartford City, Indiana, at the age of 82, and was buried in Dayton, Ohio. 1891. Age 22. Harry Bernard Myers married Estella Vanderveer on October 22, 1891, when he was 22 years old. 1893. Age 24. Death of father. His father Isaac passed away on May 9, 1893, in Dayton, Ohio, at the age of 57. 1951. Age 82. Harry Bernard Myers died on August 6, 1951, in Hartford City, Indiana, when he was 82 years old.
Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed the first like 20 minutes of the video, however long it was. I had to do it in that format. It would help me keep things organized and things like that. Being on camera and doing that kind of thing makes it a lot harder. The video would have been a lot longer, and I don't even want to deal with that. I want to make this video short as possible. So anyways, there's a couple of things here that I do want to address. So in my fact-checking video of Twin Paranormal, I had said that there were no confirmed deaths in the house, with the exception of one. The reason why I said that is because I kept hearing about all these mysterious deaths, no records of any mysterious deaths, other than just one, which isn't mysterious anyways. It's also relying on others to get documentation, get this information, so we can definitely confirm it. Documentations and proof got lost or something happened. There's just always something. I got impatient. I had enough. I went digging. I can confirm that there are, in fact, 3 deaths that did happen in the house. None of which, not just what Twin Paranormal claim, but a lot of other people claim these deaths were not mysterious. So let me get this out of the way first. The infant that passed away. That infant lived 21 days, passed away since. I was told that the parents, in a matter-of-fact way, buried the child in one part of the house in the crawl space. That is absolutely not true. Thank God. That child is buried at a cemetery and is not buried under the house. So yes, an infant died at the house, not buried in the crawl space. It made no sense to me anyways. I always said, why would somebody do that? Why would a mother or father do that? That doesn't make any sense. The other 2 gentlemen that died in the house, there's nothing mysterious in the way that they died. One of the gentlemen, father of the gentleman who owned the house, he came visiting and he had a heart attack. There's nothing mysterious about that. He was old. What is mysterious about somebody having a heart attack and dying from a heart attack? Then his son died in the house. heart attack or something. I don't remember exactly what it was. But he also died in the house. There was nothing mysterious about that. So I don't know, and it just doesn't pertain to Twin Paranormal, but I hear this with other big YouTubers that go there. Mysterious deaths. There's absolutely nothing mysterious about the deaths that happened in the house. Twin Paranormal said that the house was built in the, I believe it was 1896. They said the house was built and the Bergers moved into the house, whatever. The house was built in the 1900s, and we do know, because we can see on what I provided much earlier in this video, that the Berger family did not move to Hartford City until 1900. Now, could the year that this place was built be off according, like, this is the records right here. Could this be off by a year, give or take, or 2 years, give or take? That's a possibility, but we do know for a fact, even within the consensus, that the Berger family moved in 1900. The story of the father setting a dog on fire, that is not true. I don't know where that came from, but that is absolutely not true. Now, there was a family, the Mars family, who was renting the upstairs part of the house. They had a bad marriage. Even before they moved into the house, it was not good. And I believe what happened was, and again, this story was told earlier, but I believe what happened was, I think the wife probably found out that her husband, Mr. Mars, may have had a little something on the side. She wanted a divorce, made these wild accusations. Well, he turned around and did the same thing. He wanted a divorce, and he was making wild accusations. When people break up or when divorce happens, one or the other parties will say something horrific about the other person. They want to try to ruin the person, embarrass the person. These things do happen. Now, they never did get a divorce. They reconciled the marriage. That lasted 2 months, and the dude took off with another woman. So legally, he was married to 2 different women at the same time. The woman that he ran off with, well, it was illegal for her to be married at that time because she had just divorced her husband. According to the divorce stuff, she wasn't supposed to get married, or she was not allowed to get married again until 2 years after the divorce. So obviously there was an affair going on. If this lady had just divorced her husband and then Mr. Mars took off with her, yeah, there was definitely something going on with that. So was there any abuse going on? I don't know. It's just hearsay. It's gossip. Nobody knows for sure. But what we do know is they had a bad marriage. Both wanted divorces. That didn't happen. 2 months later, dude took off with another woman. That's what we know. But that is likely where this story of the guy setting the dog on fire came from. It was probably some embellished story that went along with the Mars family. Now, Twin Paranormal talked about these mysterious fires, except there was nothing really mysterious about it because, well, they explained what had happened. There's nothing mysterious about that, but what they told us, that story isn't true either. A father started a fire in the house and it ended up killing his child. That never happened. In fact, I remember first hearing about it back in 2017, that there was a fire in the house. Nobody set the house on fire, but there was just this fire that happened, and a boy died. But when we look at the history and the records, there's nothing in there about it. not even into the 90s, all the way up to when the owners who have the house now, there's nothing there. The skeletal remains, that's true. However, I don't think they were sent out to a lab or anything like that, or whatever it was they said. Somebody came out there, examined, and said, yeah, these bones came from settlers. But who were the settlers? And that right there's a mystery right there. Who were these settlers? Could they have something to do with the haunting at the house? Who knows? Twin Paranormal brought up this whole thing about a demonic entity, a demon, if you will, in the house. Do I believe that there's a demonic entity at the Monroe house? In my opinion, yes. Based on my experiences investigating the house, I do believe, and it is in my opinion, that there is a demonic entity in the home. This brings us to the satanic rituals Twin Paranormal is talking about, and some of you guys have heard me talk about the satanic rituals that were done in the house. Is the story true? Yes, absolutely. There are things that were found in the house that support that, and the guy admitted it. And he said he did it out of revenge, but he doesn't want to ever talk about it. He wants nothing to do with the house. I was told that he's like a Christian now, and he just wants to be left alone. I found the guy. Unfortunately, I cannot show you guys what I have or what I have found. It gives away too much information. From 1989 or 1990, all the way up to about the time the house went vacant. Everyone in that time span, all their information and things like that, it's out in the open. Phone numbers, emails, where they live now, and so on. And now I did do a search on those people. I didn't put it out there because all of them, they're alive and well. Living in different states, living just outside of the city. One person's still in Hartford City. I can't show that stuff, but I can tell you that it happened in 1999 with those rituals. So there's that. And like I said, I'm not going to show that information. Now, the guy who did the satanic rituals, again, I'm not going to tell you his name. He wrote a book. It's a poem book, and it's pretty messed up, to be honest. And I was reading through some of these poems. I ordered the book. I'm waiting to receive it. I got the ebook, and I was going through it. Some of those poems, I'm like, holy crap. That really seems like a connection with the Monroe house and certain things that have been going on there. Twin Paranormal brought up that the owner won't live in the house. He won't go in the house. That is an absolute lie. And we're gonna kill two birds with one stone here. They also said that nobody could live in that house for more than a year. In 89 or 90, the house became a HUD house. For those of you who are not familiar with HUD is basically housing for low-income individuals. And not just low-income individuals, but also it is there for people who are disabled and have other issues going on. Sign up for this HUD program, and if you qualify for it, you get into a place and you could pay anywhere from $0 to maybe $200 a month. Just it depends on your income. That is a 1-year deal. You get reevaluated, see if you still qualify for it. If you do qualify for it, cool, whatever. If you don't, you have some options. You can stay in the house and pay full rent, whatever the price is, or go find somewhere else to live. So the reason why people weren't living in the house no more than a year, but there was a family who did live in the house for more than a year. The majority of them did not. It's probably because they couldn't qualify to get to stay on the program. Maybe their income increased quite a bit. I don't know. But that's a pretty normal thing that happens in HUD. People stay in a place for 1 year and then they're gone, and then somebody else moves in. That is a normal thing. There's nothing paranormal about that. I don't know why they didn't do research on that. Doesn't make any sense. The house went up for auction. Eddie put a bid. Eddie was the only one who put a bid on the house, and he won. The long story short is, Eddie is in that house all the damn time. He's always working on something with the house. They have had birthday parties at that house, and they would investigate. They'd have Halloween parties at the house, and they would investigate. Eddie is at the house a lot, so I don't know why Twin Paranormal made it sound like Eddie won't move into the house, and he won't go into the house, when, in fact, Eddie does, all the time. Something that I want to point out is these inconsistencies and the narrative. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to blow this window up here. This name here, Joe. As far as I know, there was never a Joe living in this house. But I'm pretty sure there's been a lot of Joes who have come and investigated the house. I'm not saying this has anything to do with me, but also at the same time, they're using an app, and they're letting the app just lead the investigation, and that should not be something done. The reason why I'm pointing this out is because they have this name, but further into their investigation, there's something pretty interesting that happens. Not at one time did they acknowledge the name they got on this.
There were bones found in the basement. By any chance, does anybody know the name of that person? Or maybe there's... Julia!
What the
Finally, a name!
Finally, a name. They're controlling the narrative. They had a name much earlier in this investigation, and they chose not to say anything about it. Why? At this point, everything, well, even before that, but really here, look, they're acting. They're pretending like they're trapped in this room when they are not trapped in this room. They're claiming that they're hearing sounds outside of that room, and they very well could be. The thing is not one of them got up, went out that door to go find the source of the sound. That is something important. We have to debunk these things. These guys are not out there debunking anything. They're just playing along. They're playing pretend. That's what's happening. There's a very good possibility, like a high possibility, that the sounds that they are hearing are either coming from the pigeons that get into the house. They make a scratching sound. Sometimes it makes it sound like shuffling of feet. This is plastic over here. I'm gonna blow this up. This is plastic. This whole covering, and it's like tape or whatever, tape up there. This is all plastic. That can make some noise. That can sound like footsteps, like somebody walking on debris. Now, behind this door, there's a room. Actually, not even behind that door. Anyways, there's a room literally on the other side of them. Plastic and paper covering that window, and that paper and plastic can sound like scratching. Yes, again, it can sound like shuffling of footsteps. There's a whole lot of things going on here, and not one of them got up. They didn't even have the balls to get up, or maybe they just didn't want to, because it just killed the whole vibe that they're trying to do when they put content out. None of them checked a debunk, and that's where debunkers take a big issue. You guys aren't doing what you should be doing. You guys are calling yourself paranormal investigators, but you're not. You're putting on an act. You guys are pretending that you're trapped in this room and that all this crazy stuff is going on. You're letting the app, which is total garbage, all of those apps, they're just bullshit, let's be honest. You're letting them lead the investigation. And I want to point out, because you guys did such a lousy job doing research, that if something was manipulating the cell phone, triggering that app, and giving you guys clues, you guys fucked up. You guys really should have done your homework on this house. You guys should have really dug in deep Because there were a couple of things that come out of your app, whether or not a ghost or a demon manipulated it. It was, to me, it seemed like, wow, something could possibly be telling them something. And because they're playing pretend to make money, they didn't do their research. They don't care about the research. They didn't do it. It would have clued them in on some pretty cool stuff, and this whole investigation could have been a lot different, way more interesting, and a lot darker. But, you know, you guys just fuck around and play pretend ghost hunters. It's all about the views, the money, and shit like that. Let's keep it real, guys. I know it, you know it. I'm gonna play a video here real quick. This is Dawn. She's in the exact same room the twins were claiming that they were trapped in. The difference is night and day.
In fact, we've been here about 8 hours. We haven't had a whole lot going on, but now it's been dark out. I was downstairs with Joe just a little bit ago, and I was just talking. We weren't recording. He's getting something set up for investigating later, and he heard a woman's voice. It wasn't me while I was talking. It was coming from a different direction, so he opened a door and tried to figure out what it was. And he came back, like, no, heard a woman's voice, and then he heard it again, and I didn't hear it. And unfortunately, we weren't recording. But to give you an idea about, you know, what we're looking at here, this doorway, people have seen a tall shadow figure at the doorway, and seems like it sometimes happens more when people are standing in the doorway. I'm gonna go stand real quick and just see if that happens, because it can be uncomfortable when you leave your back to a door. So let's just see.
Those are not orbs, guys. It's dust.
Is there anyone up here with me? Man, again, it's just so weird. See, I don't really feel anything. Can you make a noise or knock? Let me know you're here.
She's by herself in that same room investigating. She's not freaking out. She's not pretending like she's trapped or anything like that.
Can you show yourself? That was the window.
So she heard a tapping sound. It was the window.
Window again. So a lot of times, look back here. A lot of times, some of these noises can easily be debunked, and you really need to tag them when you hear them at the time, because when you go back to review any footage, you forget, like, that clicking sound when you're asking for something to tap was actually like the wind hitting the window or something like that. It's the window.
Does that sound familiar?
There's some residual noise from outside. Of course, this is my shadow. I like to sit when it's quiet and listen for things. Again, if I go completely dark, you can't. It's really dark.
So I think you guys get the point. Dawn was in the exact same room they were in. Look at how she acted. look how she was investigating, and then compare it to what was going on with them. Not at one time did they ever get up to go check out what any of those sounds were. They were putting on an act, pretending like they were trapped in that room. That's all it was. It was just all for show, one big act. So kind of try to wrap this up here. There's a hell of a lot more to investigating and researching that goes on. Not just Twin Paranormal, but many other channels. They don't grind. They don't care about the paranormal. They don't care about the history. YouTube is a business. They're trying to make money. That's what they're trying to do. They're controlling the narrative. They're letting apps control how they question, where it leads them to, and then they throw a video out there. And really the only thing Twin Paranormal and a lot of others have been consistent on is well, the name of their videos, the titles, their thumbnails. Really? How many times have these guys almost died? How many encounters with demons could they possibly have? Skinwalkers. They haven't run into a skinwalker. Everywhere they go, they almost die. They're always attacked by demons. It's always the scariest night of their lives. They're real consistent with that. For those of you who enjoy Twin Paranormal, that's absolutely fine. But I'm telling you guys right now, what they're doing is not how we investigate. It's all for entertainment. It's not real. They're running a business, just like a lot of the other YouTubers out there. And the point of having a business is to make money. I want to quickly address the Twin Paranormal fans. I see your comments. A lot of comments do get held for review. I'm not really sure why, because there's really nothing like nasty, derogatory, or anything like that. I try to keep up with it. Nobody's being censored. One of the common things that I do see, though, in those comments, and I absolutely can't stand this because I see it all the time, the hater and the jealous card gets played. What do I have to be jealous of? I'm not trying to be a big YouTuber. My goal is to continue doing paranormal documentaries and even expanding outside of paranormal documentaries. But what do I have to be jealous of? So let me play this card. My story of an experience I had at the Monroe House was written about in this book. I've been on TV for 18 seconds. I used to wrestle, and that was shown on TV. Nothing like the WWE or AEW. It was a small indie thing. Music on Spotify and all the other major streaming music services. Our documentary, The Harrisville Haunting, is on every single major streaming service with the exception of 2. The documentary has also won 24 film awards in various categories and in multiple film festivals. What do I have to be jealous of? Am I supposed to be jealous of their horrific investigating skills, researching skills? Am I supposed to be jealous of how immature and unprofessional they act when they're investigating? Please explain to me why I should be jealous. Last thing I want to address is I see that Twin Paranormal posted something about 2 guys trying to get them banned from a location that they want to investigate. I don't know who's doing it. Whoever's doing it is a total asshole, and I hope they're not watching my channel. I don't want to find out that one of the people who watch my channel, support my channel, are doing something like that. That's not cool to do. That is something that we don't want to see happen. I don't want to see people get banned from locations. Now, if they do something to warrant being blacklisted, that's one thing. So that's all I got. Hopefully this video won't be too long. Till the next one.